you were a goblin, would you mess with a centaur foal? She tapped one forefoot meaningfully. Bink remembered how he had foiled her attack, not long ago, when he had forced her to face the obscene concept. But he was twice the height of a goblin, and armed with a sword, and familiar with centaurs. Most important, he had known that whatever Cherie's rage of the moment, she was his friend, and would not really hurt him. No goblin had any such assurance, and a centaur filly protecting her young would be a terror. I would not mess with a centaur foal even if I were a dragon, he said. I can see in the dark a little when I have to, she continued. I can hear the echoes of my hooves tours to the caves. We'll get there. Without another word, Bink leaned down, grasped the tentacle rope, and swung himself into the hole. He handed himself into the depths rapidly, feeling much stronger than he had during the ascent. With surprising suddenness, he was past the knot and at the floor. He peered up at the wan illumination above. Okay, I'm down. The rope writhed as Cherie hauled it. Centaurs had excellent balance for this sort of thing, since they could plant 4 feet on the ground and devote the full strength of their arms to the task. Soon Chet came swinging down. The rope looped about his middle while he held on lightly with his hands. In all this time he had spoken no word and made no demand or complaint. Bink was sure that would change drastically as Chet matured. Bink untied the little fellow at the base and gave him a pat on the back. Chet's fine, he called. Now it was Cherie's turn. She had made it into the crevasse all right, but this was a little narrower, darker, longer haul, with a less secure rope, and Bink was privately worried. Stand clear, in case I should swing, she called. Bink knew she had almost said fall. She was well aware of the hazard, but she had courage. She swung down without a vent, handing herself along until she neared the floor. Then the narrowing tentacle snapped, dropping her the last few feet. But she landed squarely, unhurt. Bink relaxed. All right, Bink, she said immediately. Get on my back and tell me where to go. Silently, Bink went to mount her, and in that silence heard something. Something's moving, he snapped, surprised to discover how nervous he was. Where's Chet? Right here beside me, she said. They listened, and now it was plain. A scraping, rustling sound off to the side and up. Definitely not any of them. Yet it didn't sound like goblins either. Then Bink saw a snake-like thing writhing between them and the hole, silhouetted by the light. A tangler root! It's moving! He exclaimed. We must have jarred it loose from the earth, she said. Its own weight is pulling it free, and its shape makes it twist as it drops. Yes, but Bink was uncertain. That looked too much like conscious motion. Could the tangler be animating again? If so, there would be no escape this way. They started along the cavern trail. Bink found he remembered it fairly well, even in the dark. And he found he could see a little. maybe some glow remained. Actually, it seemed to get brighter as his eyes adjusted. The glow, it's returning, Cherie said. I thought it was my imagination, Bink agreed. Maybe there is some residual magic down here. They moved on, more rapidly. Bink couldn't help wondering if the Tangler was coming back to life and the glow was getting brighter. Could that mean that magic was returning? The implications were... Suddenly, the passage debouched into a palace chamber so large he could not readily compass it with his gaze. Jewels sparkled on every side, hanging brilliantly in air. A fountain of scintillating water spread out upside down, its droplets falling back toward the ceiling. Streamers of colored paper formed whirls and whorls that traveled as if by their own volition, tilting sideways or curling into spirals, only to straighten out again. On every side were fresh wonders, too many to assimilate. In all, it was a display of the most phenomenal magic Bink had ever seen. There had been no cave like this in the region before. Cherie looked around as if startled as he... Could this be the work of your demon Xanth? As she spoke the name, the demon X, open parenthesis, A over N, close parenthesis, exponent TH materialized. He sat in a throne of solid diamond, his glowing eyes fixed on Bink, who still bestrode Cherie, while the foal pressed closely to her side. You are the one I want. X, open parenthesis, A over N, close parenthesis, exponent TH exclaimed. You stupid non-entity who threw yourself and your entire culture into peril for no likely gain to either. Such idiocy deserves the penalty it brings. Bink, awed, nevertheless tried to defend himself. Why did you return then? What do you want with me? They have changed the nomenclature system. X, open parenthesis, A over N, close parenthesis, exponent TH replied. They are into differentials now. I shall have to study that system for an eon or two, lest I apply it with Gaucher. So I am returning to this familiar place for the moment. An eon moment? Bink asked incredulously. Approximately. I brought you here to ensure that my privacy will be preserved. Every entity of this world that knows of me must be abolished. Abolished? Bink asked, stunned. Nothing personal, the demon assured him. I really don't care about your existence one way or the other. But if my presence is known, other vermin may seek me out, and I want to be left alone. So I must abolish you and the others who are aware of me, preserving my secret. Most of you have already been eliminated. Only you and the nymph remain. Leave Jewel out of it, Bink pleaded. She's innocent. She only came because of me. She doesn't deserve. This filly and her foal are innocent too, the demon pointed out. This has no relevance. Cherie turned to face Bink, her human torso twisted in the supple manner he remembered of old, and her beauty was back to its original splendor. Magic became her, without doubt. You freed this thing, and this is his attitude? Why doesn't he go elsewhere, where none of us can find him? He's leaked a lot of magic here, Bink said. It is quiescent without him, but so long as magical creatures like dragons and centaurs remain, we know it hasn't departed entirely. The whole of the land of Xanth is steeped with it. This must be more comfortable for him, like a well-worn shoe, instead of one fresh from the shoe tree that chafes. The demon is not of our kind. He has no gratitude. I knew that when I freed him. There will be a brief delay before I terminate you, the demon said. Make yourselves comfortable. Despite his immediate peril, Bink was curious. Why the delay? The nymph has hidden herself, and I do not choose to expend magic wastefully in an effort to locate her. But you are omnipotent. Waste should have no meaning to you. True, I am omnipotent, but there is a proportion in all things. It bothers my sensitivities to use more magic than a given situation warrants. Therefore, I am minimizing the effort here. I have amplified your persona. She loves you. I do not understand. I do not pretend to know the meaning of that term, and will come to you here, believing you to be in a danger she can ameliorate. Then I can conveniently abolish you all. So the return of magic to the land of Xanth meant the end for Bink and his friends. Yet the rest of Xanth profited, so it was not a total loss. Still, I don't suppose you would be satisfied if we simply promised to not reveal your presence, or took a forget potion. No good, a voice said from Bink's pocket. It was Grundy the Golem, back in form with the restoration of magic. He climbed out to perch on Bink's shoulder. You could never keep such a promise. Magic would have the truth out of you in a moment. Even if you took a forget potion, it would be neutralized. Then the information would be exposed. A truth spell, Cherie agreed. I should have trusted my original judgment. Magic is a curse. Bink refused to give up. Maybe we should reverse it, he told the demon. Spread the word to all the land that you are down here, and will destroy anyone who intrudes. You'd encourage 99 nuts to rise to the challenge. The demon would be constantly annoyed and have to waste his magic destroying them one by one. The demon looked at her approvingly. You have an equine rear, but a sapient head, he remarked. Centaurs do, she agreed. And what do you think of me? You are the absolute epitome of obscenity. Bink froze, but the demon laughed. The sound blasted out deafeningly. The magically ornate palace shattered about him, filling the air with debris, but none of it touched them.
Know something? Grundy remarked. He's changing, like me.
Changing? Like you? Bink repeated. Of course. Well, his magic was leaking out, infusing the whole land of Xanth. Some of our culture was seeping in, making him a little bit like us. That's why he feels comfortable here. That's why he can laugh. He does have some crude feelings. Cherie was right on it. Which means he might respond to a feeling challenge. Can you come up with one? Try, Bink said. Then, as the demon's mirth subsided, he said, Demon, I know a way to protect your privacy. We have a shield stone, formerly used to protect the whole land of Xanth from intrusion by outsiders. We valued our privacy as much as you value yours. Nothing living can pass through that shield. All I need to do is tell our King Trent about you, and he will set up the shield to prevent anyone from coming down here. The shield worked for us for over a century. It will work for you too. Then, it doesn't matter who knows about you. Every fool who tries to reach you will die, automatically. The demon considered.
The notion appeals, but the human mind and motivation are largely foreign to me. How can I be sure your king will honor your request?
I know he will, Bink said. He's a good man, an honest one, and a savvy politician. He will immediately appreciate the need to protect your privacy, and will act on it.
How can you be so sure of that?
The demon asked. I'd stake my life on it.
Your life is insignificant compared to my convenience,
the demon said, without humor. But my talent is significant in human terms, Bink argued. It will act in my interest by encouraging the king to...
Your talent is nothing to me. I could reverse it by a simple snap of my fingers.
The demon snapped his fingers with a sound like the detonation of a cherry bomb. Bink felt a horribly disquieting internal wrench.
However, your challenge intrigues me. There is a certain element of chance involved that cannot occur when I myself undertake a challenge. Therefore, I must indulge myself to a certain extent vicariously. You say you shall stake your life on your ability to preserve my privacy. This is really no collateral, since your life is already forfeit, but I'll accept it. Shall